Hey everybody, Karen from Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So this is part 2 of Michael Jackson answering your questions. And in part 1, we explored Michael Jackson's gifts, spirituality, and purpose. Today we're continuing the conversation with your questions about accusations. So if you're not really that comfortable with this may not be the right video for you, but they are the community questions about accusations Michael Jackson faced while he was alive, before he transitioned, the events surrounding his death, and the many mysteries that still surround his life. In episode 3, so part 3, there'll be one more because you guys had so many questions for Michael, is we will conclude with your questions about his family, his legacy, and the impact he may still be having today. So I hope what we're going to learn today, personally, is that he was wrongly accused. That's what I hope we're going to learn today. I have not asked him. And so that actually is the first couple questions. There is a little bit about MK Ultra, people who are given money to falsify claims. There is a question about his connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Did he try to warn people about Jeffrey Epstein? And then what happened to him when he passed, when he transitioned? Okay. And I am curious, we have to remember the bigger picture as always. And was this part of his life plan? The whole thing. And so, or were there, which I understand this to be true from other conversations we've had with the lead team, is when you plan, you have your life plan that you plan before you come here. And there's big lessons you want to learn, but how you learn them may come about differently. Then there might be multiple ways those lessons can come into your experience, depending on whether you learn them sooner or later, or you wait for something bigger to happen before you learn them, that type of thing. So we'll find out. Okay, and I find it quite interesting. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm going to do a post to find out if you guys want to have a conversation with Lindsey Graham's higher self. I find it interesting, not from a political perspective, but from a spiritual perspective. It's just interesting that he both transitioned from cardiac, it sounds like cardiac arrest, and it sounds like Mitch McConnell is the same, but they're kind of holding off on that one, which I find very fascinating that they would not try to hold off. Maybe the seat in South Carolina doesn't matter. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to do a post. So when you see this video, go to the post area of the channel and vote. I'm going to just do a post. Do you guys want to do a video with Lindsey Graham's higher self? Yes or no? And you can put your questions in there. For those who say yes, you can just start putting your questions in there. If we get an overwhelmingly yes, or at least 50%, then we'll go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I probably won't, But if you have questions, go ahead and put it. What I'm interested in is, it's just kind of fascinating. For now, we've had 2 Republicans who have passed away from cardiac arrest. Again, Mitch is kind of up in the air right now. Depending on what you hear. And how things kind of come in threes sometimes. But what is this about? They are public figures. So what is this about from a spiritual perspective, an evolution perspective? That's the kind of stuff I'm curious to explore. So let us know. All right, if you're interested. Okay, let's go ahead and do the prayer, and then we'll ask how many questions we got today. We have 25 questions. This is going to be fascinating. I hope I don't, walk away feeling disappointed in Michael, but he'll tell us the truth. Okay, so And you know what? Regardless, if you walk however you feel about it, that's all part of our spirit. If you get triggered with something that's said in this conversation or any conversation, that's the best time to look inside. Not blame it on the person who's triggering you, but always look inside to say, okay, what's going on in me? There's a little bit of shadow work that still needs to be done. And and I'll talk a little bit about that in terms of my thoughts regarding Lindsey Graham if we decide to do that episode. But because I'm way more interested now in the bigger picture of what's happening on Earth and looking at it rather than looking at it from political sides. It's just not that interesting anymore, but looking at it from a bigger spiritual perspective. But we always have to keep looking inside, because that's how we keep learning and ascending, is because whenever you get triggered by anything. So if something today triggers you, or you go out and you're at your job and something triggers you, it's always good. We spend a lot of time looking outward, blaming people for triggering us. I know I did that for a long time. And now I keep looking, like I have to keep reminding myself to look in. Look in. Why am I being triggered by that? Because some people won't be triggered by it. And it's like, well, what's going on? Why am I getting triggered by it? So always a good idea to remind us, especially when we're talking about things that are kind of heavy, like today's conversation. Okay, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, the lead team collective, and our community, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. How's it going today? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for partnering with us. So we had, in part 1, we had a conversation with Michael directly already. And if you guys missed that, I'll post it at the end of this video. I'll pop it right here. Okay, at the end, it'll pop up right there, so you can watch it next. So is Michael open to having a conversation? Can you, lead team, can you look at the questions in front of me? Yes. Okay. Is there anything here that we should refrain from asking? No. Okay. So is this inappropriate for us to ask Michael directly these questions, his higher self? No. Are we being unkind and unloving by asking these questions? No. Okay. Okay. So do you think you want to answer these questions for us? No. Does Michael want to answer these questions for us? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, let's bring Michael Jackson back in. Okay, Michael. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Now, the questions for today are a little sensitive, and I think you know that because you probably can see them in front of me. As always, if there's anything you do not think is in your best interest or in our best interest, just refrain from answering. Just don't move the rods, okay? Yes. Okay, very good. All right. Well, thank you very much for being here again. Okay, so number 1, we're getting right to it, you guys. We're just going right to the jugular. All right. So again, if you don't want to go right to the jugular, go to part 1 first. And then you'll see why this was broken. The parts were broken up based on the type of question. So this one feels much heavier than part 1 and part 3. Okay. All right. You can tell. And allegedly and entertainment purposes only. Got to make sure I say that. All right. Okay. So Michael, were you some kind of predator as accused? No. Phew. Okay. Were the abuse accusations true? No. Okay. Were any abuse accusations true? No. I mean, I'm sure you were a normal human being who had anger and, that kind of stuff. I mean, who doesn't, right? Yes. But in terms of what you were publicly accused of, was any of that true? Allegedly, no. Were the accusers given, oh, this is interesting, MK Ultra to form false memories? What? Oh my God. Yes. So the accusers really do feel that they were abused by you? Well, now that's freaking twisted. Yes. Okay. That's just not right. That is just, that is so low vibration. I can't even. Yes. Okay. Well, God bless you and those who that happened to, and they're still living with that, I'm assuming. Yes. Okay. Which is really unfortunate because then this is why we have to be kind all around. And just remember, this is not our experience. This is Michael's experience and those who he interacted with, you know? So this is where we get to practice non-judgment all around, even to the people who gave the MK Ultra. That's probably where I get triggered the most, you know? So, okay. My goal, just keep in mind, you guys, when we do sessions like this, and that's why I talked about you getting triggered. This isn't about just entertainment, really. This is about us continuing to learn and grow towards high vibration and love. Otherwise, why? Why spend the time, you know? So, anyways. Okay. Were the accusers given money by others to falsify their claims? Yes. So are you saying there are those who were given money? Were those separate from the MK Ultra victims? Yes. Okay. So there were those who accused you who just did it because they got money? Yes. And they were also separate people who also had MK Ultra experience? Yes. Boy, oh boy. Were the accusers pressured by others to give false statements? Yes. Now, there's a part of this question that says including family members. So let me think about that. Were the accusers pressured by family members? No. Okay. To give false statements. Did this entire thing have to do with your wanting, he's already knows what I'm going to say because I was thinking it. Yes. It had to do with his recordings and him separating from his record company. Yes. So they basically went after you at that point. Wow. That's just evil. Didn't that person just pass too, you guys? That's interesting. A big record label. Let me check that real quick. Okay, so it was Clive Davis. He died at the age of 94 on June 22nd, 2026. Okay, so he actually represented Whitney Houston. Let me see. I think it was Whitney Houston, Janis Joplin, both of those. It's kind of interesting. Billy Joel and Santana. So that's interesting. The Janis Joplin and Whitney Houston part of it. But so then I asked, did he ever manage Michael Jackson? And he did not. However, he did have a connection to Jermaine Jackson. So in the 1980s, Davis signed Michael's brother, Jermaine Jackson. Sibling Rivalry. In his memoir, Clive Davis, claimed that Michael Jackson actively tried to sabotage Jermaine's career. Davis recounted that when he hired producers like L.A. Reid and Babyface for Jermaine's album, Michael booked them for his own projects, which devastated Jermaine. So let's just ask Michael if that's... So, Michael, did Clive Davis have anything to do with sabotaging your life? Yes. Okay. So even though you were, he was represented by Epic Records. So and part of the Sony music family. So did Clive Davis and the whoever did whatever, your producer in Epic Records, they obviously had connections themselves. Yes. So did you purposefully try to sabotage your brother's? Oh, he's saying yes. Okay. Did you have a vendetta against your brother? Yes. Okay. Um, so was this just sibling rivalry? No. Did your brother do something that hurt you so that this was like a revenge, sort of? Yes. Okay. Did you hurt your brother first? No. Okay. Well, you got the family stuff going on there. Okay, so Clive, which is interesting. I mean, he was 94, but another powerful person has now passed in June. Okay. Let's see. So, were you wrongly accused of abusing a minor to silence you? Yes. And meaning, you know what I mean? Abuse? Okay. Yes. Were you set up in a producer's office to create compromising photos? Yes. And were drugs involved? Yes. We're finding out that that's kind of the MO. That's what Jeffrey did as well, a lot. That he would get people in compromising positions, but it was because they were not even lucid. So that's not, I mean, I'm all about fair, but I mean, that's beyond not fair, right? So for us to judge people that might be in the files because they got stuff on them, well, they got stuff on them because the problem is how they acted once they got stuff on them, where it looks like they may have gotten something on Michael, but he, it's not like he went off and changed his entire personality at that point, like some of these people, I think, who got caught up in the e-files, Okay, so he's saying yes. Okay, so you were set up with compromising photographs, and were you of sound mind when you were set up with those compromising photographs? No. Okay. And that was done by a producer? Yes. Okay. Was that part of a revenge because you wanted to separate and get your, own your rights? What a thing. He should, God forbid, he should want to own his rights to his music, Yes. Were those baby face photographies in your room there for innocent reasons? I don't even know what that is. Baby face photographs. Yes. Yes, they were there for innocent reasons. Were those photographs planted? No. They were not planted. Were they there? I mean, were they there for any nefarious reason on your behalf? Did you put them there for any, like, what we would consider disgusting and creepy? No. Okay. Did you know what Jay Epstein was doing? Yes, allegedly, and entertainment purposes only. Unfortunately, now that I've just mentioned his name, what I've noticed is on people's videos is now you'll notice on my video, they'll actually put a link to him down below, which is creepy. Why? Like people mentioned if I'm mentioned in somebody's video, I guarantee my channel won't be listed below. I guarantee it. But now that I just mentioned that name, I'm going to call him J.E. from now on, but he will be listed below in my video, which is a little weird, don't you think? Like, again, if I mentioned somebody else's YouTube channel, I bet you they wouldn't be listed below. We'll watch that. But JE will be, you know? Aw. Did you try to warn people about JE? Yes. Did you try to protect children involved in the entertainment industry? Yes. Okay, now we're going on to his unaliving. Were you unalive? Did you transition naturally? No. Did you transition unexpectedly? Okay, yes, I'm not quite getting there. Did you transition at the hands of someone else? Yes. Did you transition at the hands of someone else? I'm trying to think, because he could have been transitioned at the effects of someone else, but that's because of a long term. Did you transition was your transition a plot to get you to transition? That's, I guess, the question. Yes, allegedly. Okay. All right, so it was a plot to get you to transition. Yes. Okay. Was the amount of drugs that ended your life given on purpose? Yes. Yes. Was your death simply ignorance? No. Ooh, bummer. Was your death planned by others because you knew too much? Yes. Did it have anything to do with JE? Really? Oh my Lord. Yes. Oh wow. Okay. Interesting. I guess I didn't realize there was that much of a connection. Yes. Okay. Was your unaliving simply ignored? Yes. So, like, in terms of trying to resuscitate you, that was ignored? Yes. Was your unaliving planned by others because, oh, I just asked that one, because you knew too much? Yes. Was your doctor paid to unalive you, basically? Yes, allegedly, entertainment purposes only. Yes. Okay. Was your unaliving connected to Sony or your music catalogs? Yes. Was your unaliving connected to corruption within the entertainment industry? Yes. Is the recording of you saying people wanted to unalive you real and legitimate? Yes. Were the public changes in your appearance actually clones? No. I think he just had that, what do you call that? That skin, we talked about that last time. I'm not sure I can't remember what the word is, but he just had that skin condition. So, yes. I mean, he did. And did you do plastic surgery? Like legit, that was you doing plastic surgery? Yes. Did your surgeons go too far? Yes. Were you surprised that your surgeons went that far? Oh, shoot. Yes. Okay. Was that part of the let's ruin Michael's career? Yes. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. You were an amazing singer and writer. So thank you for what you did for the world. That's really cool. Were you cloned? Were you actually cloned? No. Okay. Let's see, we've got 3 more. Were you unalived long before the public announcement of your passing? No. Was there persecution part of your planned life path to help bring about disclosure? Wow. Yes. Now I think of disclosure as an ET stuff, but Was it, disclosure of like EJE and all that kind of stuff? Yes. Are these the kind of conversations you were hoping eventually people would be having? Yes. Okay, just to offer alternative. Yes. Is the current Michael movie, what do you think of that current Michael movie? Yes. Okay. Is the current Michael movie mostly a truthful representation of your real life? No. No. Okay, well, that's interesting. All right, some final questions on my end. Um, was your transition, when you planned your life plan before you came to Earth as Michael Jackson, was that always a possibility that you knew that that was a possibility you would transition the way you did? Yes. Could you have avoided that? Oh, yes. Okay. So your soul could have opted to transition a different way, obviously. Yes. Okay. I have no idea how that could happen. If somebody's out, like there's a big plot, I have no idea how that can happen, but I guess it's the choices he made leading up to that plot, to try to call people out, all that kind of stuff. Okay, he's saying yes. Did your soul learn what you had intended to come here to learn? Your higher self? Yes. Nice. So would you say, Michael, that you quote unquote graduated what your higher self had intended for? Yes, even though all the speculation and all that, would you give yourself an A plus for this lifetime in terms of a spiritual evolution? Yes. Very cool. Okay. Well, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And do you feel that it was intended for you to take the hits you did to help humanity raise its consciousness? Yes. Well, that's very cool then too. That's very cool. Then that's really all that matters as well. Well, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Okay, we will have a part 3 in about 3 days. We're kind of separating them a little bit to give you guys some time to digest the topics. And I think when I go to do part 3, I will look at part 1 and 2 to see what additional questions, although you wouldn't really know what I'm going to answer in part 3 yet. So I guess I'll wait to do part 3. Then I'll pull the comments and the questions from part 1, 2, and 3 and see if there's enough to do a part 4. Anything that we haven't asked yet. Okay? So like if you ask a question in this one, but we've already answered it in part 1, I wouldn't do it again. Does that make sense? So, but it's okay if you want to re-ask the question because you wouldn't know if you haven't watched part 1 yet. So, all right. I will see you tomorrow night. Don't forget to fill out whether or not you're interested in having a similar conversation with Lindsey Graham. I might do Lindsey Graham and, I'm not going to do Mitch McConnell yet because we don't quite know. But Lindsey Graham's an interesting character and what he brought to Earth and our ascension, regardless of what your political views are. He's kind of an interesting character to the play, Anyways, let me know your thoughts and we'll go with what the community wants. So, all right, take care. Bye-bye.